So, having decided on each marketing mix component, there will be 7 of them, you will need to briefly define that component, P for product, P for price, and so on. Then build 2 recommended marketing strategies for each of those components. So 2 product strategies, 2 price strategies. Now the strategies will vary in length. I mean, some of them, like product and promotion, your 2 strategies, you might have a bit more writing for each one, I imagine. For something like a price strategy, it might be fairly short. You could say something like one strategy will be to sell at a price below the main competition. I'm not saying it'd be a good one, but you could say that. And then there will be 1 or 2 other ones in the extended Ps, so things like the physical appearance and so on. So it's asking you to define the component and the key elements in that, present a minimum of 2 recommended marketing strategies for each, and the third thing is to justify your chosen strategies. Produce a wee rationale. Now, more than anything in this, it would pay you to stick to the marketing guide, which I have attached in some detail. So your concise introduction, outlining key characteristics of the chosen service business, 3 marks, and its operating environment, 7 marks. Minimum of 2 objectives clearly explained. Just to remind you, when I put 2x2, that means 2 objectives, 2 marks, and then explained 2 objectives, 3 marks. Number 3, the general profile of the potential market. So 3 for recognising the demographics, 3 for recognising where they might come from, and 6 for psychographic bits. Now, I've attached a schedule on the next page which will indicate to you what you will need to provide. So the first column, we are looking for this description and key elements of each component, 7 components, and the possible marks are down the side, adding to 17. So clearly there's a slight emphasis on product, promotion and people. Now let's just check, are you on to that column? Can you see somewhat how it hangs together?
Yep.
Good. Now, for each component, we are asking for 2 strategies. For each strategy, for each component, there will be 3 marks. Strategy 1's got 3 marks, strategy 2's got 3 marks. And then your rationale for that strategy also has 3 marks for each. Now those 3 marks are consistent all the way down for each mixed component. Now there's a reasonable amount of writing in all of this, as you will probably realise. So something like a strategy would probably need, as a minimum, a short paragraph, and the rationale would need another short, possibly fractionally longer paragraph as to why you think that strategy is important or would work. So that basically shows you how to work through the setup by which you get a great hunk of marks when you've done them all. So probably, you can choose your own format how you think SAPs work. When students do this question, they sometimes produce a table. A wee bit tricky that, but you can do it. Some people use simply the headings. So they'll start with a heading product. And I will accept, if you want to say you writing or typing heaps and heaps and heaps, you can shorten strategy 1 for S1 and strategy 2 for S2. That will save you driving yourself mad writing it 7 times 2. So that would mean you would have headings for each mixed component. So you'd have 7 headings, and underneath each of those you would have the strategy and the rationale. So if you use the heading method, heading product, S1 for strategy 1, then follow with the rationale for strategy 1, then drop to strategy 2 and follow with the rationale for strategy 2. I shall stop now and let you ask questions. Where are the bits you don't understand in that or are uncertain about? Okay, so to the timing, I think somewhere it says the 31st of October. Yes, it does. Now, we're going to have to be quite firm on that. Now, always we'll try and create a bit of wriggle room, but we really will want these in by the end of the week after the 31st of October in order to get your marks processed and in some cases some of them in for your qualifications. Can we handle that?
Yep.
Right, good, wonderful. Now this is the last piece of the course, as in your course outline, and you have basically done the stuff on the marketing mix and all the stuff that goes with it. A little bit more detail, looking at those components, a few reminders. For the product, remember that the product is generally more than just the thing. So remember, for Coca-Cola, you could say the product's the round stuff that's in the bottle. Yeah, it is really. But the whole product is the stuff in the bottle and the labels. And in some cases, something that can be quite a simple one, it may not have quite as many bits to it, but just give a thought to what else you might be offering with it. So the farmer's market product will actually be made up of the things that the farmer's market is selling and the location and the facilities where it is sold. So the farmer's market in effect has that. And a retail business or a cafe bar is much the same. That will overlap a little bit with the physical appearance of the business. So you might be slightly doubling up when you get way down to the bottom of the sevens, but that's acceptable. But do your best to separate them out. A little bit further, a reminder, number 3, that place, you really probably could change that these days to accessibility. In other words, how do people get the stuff that you are selling? Get the service that you are selling. For price, have another look through your handout on some of the factors about price, because you're looking for 2 strategies about price. And when you come to 2 strategies, don't make one counteracting the other. In other words, don't have for price strategy 1 to ensure that prices are always 10% below the competition, like Bunnings, I think, do that, don't they, something like that. And your second objective, to produce only upper market products so that we can gain a higher price or something like that. That's almost counteracting each one. Promotion. Like to see, now we're only looking for 2 strategies, but I'd quite like to see you recognise, and you can look it up for yourselves, the promotional mix. And that was in your promotion, is in your promotion handout. And just to remind you that process is, number 6, is basically how your business processing is sort of working between the service and the consumer. So take the question of the farmer's market that operates in the Polytechnic atrium here. Process things will be something like how do people register to have their outlets, their little stalls? It could involve, how are you going to actually get the money off people? Now, probably not everybody's going to have an EFTPOS machine, so you might decide you're going to have a centralised thing where they take a voucher to a desk that's got an EFTPOS machine, and ultimately people get paid out from the central part. I don't know. That's something for you to think about. That's the notion of process. And it might involve things like, how do you ensure that you get your whitebait that you've just caught down near Whakareia up here so that you can sell it as fresh whitebait. You obviously got a few logistics issues like that. 100 tonnes of dry ice or something like that. So, from here, I'd like, it will be a brief meeting, but can you come in next week, having had a chance to get your heads around some of this, so that we can be reasonably sure you have an opportunity to ask questions, and I might have thought of something else that might help you with the completion of it by then. I will send you out a little sheet on objectives, because it's a good little one actually. And then after that, we will probably basically say to you, from after next week through to the due date, which will only be about 3 weeks, I will be here each class time with the video machines on. If anybody has anything they'd like to talk about, and of course you are free to email if you want to. Some of you, in fact probably all of you, for me to be realistic, may find a value in doing one of the mixed components and writing it up. So, product, S1, strategy 1, rationale, S2, strategy 2, rationale, and you might want to flick in a draft just to check that you are on the right track and not falling into any traps. Any other questions? So on this occasion, whatever format you use, do try and match the marking guide. These are appallingly difficult things to mark if people start drifting all around the place and putting things in different places. So it will be in your interest to follow the marking guide, I think. Okay, well that's about as far as I can take you with that, I think, at this stage. Any other queries?
No, very good.
That'd be good. So we'll see them all in the next week. They're obviously going to be quite easy. That's good.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, see ya.
Can I just touch, it doesn't matter that you're there, Ethan, can I just touch base, Ashley, with you and Marcel for a moment? Jan sent me a note saying you're struggling a bit, could you arrange, this is the applied management, could you arrange a bit of a chat about it? And I said that I was going to struggle last week, which is true. And then I sent you a little wee short video, and then Jan wrote back and said that cleared it up. Now, did it, or do you still want to meet sometime?
I think what you sent us cleared it up. Yeah.
So if you do want to meet at some time, like there'll be a law class next week in Westport, and there'll be this. You could use that time if that turned out to be what would help.
Yeah, okay. Cool, thanks Ian.
Righto. All good?
Awesome. Thank you.